is for apple, A, apple. B is for ball, ball. C is for cat, cat. D is for doll, doll. E is for elephant, A, elephant. F is for frog, frog. G is for goat, goat. H is for hand, hand. I is for igloo, I, igloo. J is for jump, jump. K is for kangaroo, kangaroo. L is for lion, lion. M is for mat, mat. N is for net, net. O is for orange, orange. Q is for queen, queen. R is for rabbit, rabbit. S is for sun, sun. T is for toad, toad. U is for umbrella, U, umbrella. V is for violin, A, violin. W is for watch, watch. X is for xylophone, xylophone. Y is for yellow, yellow. T is for raza, for zeta up.
A is for apple, A, apple. B is for ball, ball. C is for cat, cat. D is for doll, doll. E is for elephant, A, elephant. F is for frog, frog. G is for goat, goat. H is for hand, hand. I is for igloo, I, igloo. J is for jump, jump. K is for kangaroo, kangaroo. L is for lion, lion. M is for net, net. N is for net, net. O is for orange, net. O is for orange, orange.
P is for pet, pet.
Q is for queen, queen. R is for rabbit, rabbit. S is for sun, sun. T is for toad, toad.
O, U is for umbrella, U, umbrella.
V is for violin, violin. W is for watch, watch. X is for xylophone, xylophone. Y is for yellow, yellow. Z is for zebra, zebra.
Farm animals. Cow. Cow. Cat. Cat. Dog. Dog. Donkey. Donkey. Duck. Duck. Goat. Goat. Horse. Horse. Big. Big. Rabbit. Rabbit. Sheep. Sheep.
Hey team, are you ready to learn your phonics sounds?
Yeah!
Okay, ready, let's go! A is for apple, apple. B is for ball, ball. C is for cat, cat. D is for dog, dog. E is for elephant, elephant. F is for frog, frog. G is for goldfish, goldfish. H is for hog, hog. These are the sounds of our ABCs. We need to learn them to help us read. So we will practice until we all know all our phonics sounds. Ready? Let's go! I is for igloo, igloo. J is for jam, jam. K is for kangaroo, kangaroo. L is for lamb, lamb. M is for monkey, monkey. N is for nose, nose. O is for octopus, octopus. P is for pillow, pillow. These are the sounds of our ABCs. We need to learn them to help us read. So we will practice until we all know all our phonics sounds. Ready? Let's go! Q is for quilt, quilt. R is for rain, rain. S is for snowman, snowman. T is for train, train. U is for umbrella, umbrella. V is for vase, vase. W is for wagon, wagon. X is for x-ray, x-ray. Y is for yo-yo, yo-yo. Z is for zebra, zebra. These are the sounds of our ABCs. We need to learn them to help us read. So we will practice until we all know all our phonics sounds. Ready? Let's go!
Hi kids! Here comes the letter A. A says apple. A says ant. Wow! Here comes the letter B. B says bird. B says ball. Here comes the letter C. C says cow. C says cup. Here comes the letter D. D says doll. D says drum. Here comes the letter E. E says egg. says elephant. Here comes the letter F. F says frog. F says fairy. Here comes the letter G. G says grass. G says green. Here comes the letter H. H says hand. H says horse. Here comes the letter I. I says igloo. I says island. Here comes the letter J. J says jungle. J says jump. Here comes the letter K. K says king. K says kitchen. Here comes the letter L. L says lollipop. L says love. Here comes the letter M. M says mango. M says mountain. Here comes the letter N. N says night. N says noodles. Here comes the letter O. O says ocean. O says orange. Here comes the letter P. P says pig. P says pencil. Here comes the letter Q. Q says queen. Q says question. Here comes the letter R. R says rocket. R says red. Here comes the letter S. S says spider. S says sun. Here comes the letter T. T says turtle. T says toes. Here comes the letter U. U says umbrella. U says up. Here comes the letter V. V says vacation. V says violin. Here comes the letter W. W says watch. W says whale. Here comes the letter X. X says sit on. X says X-ray. Here comes the letter Y. Y says yogurt. Y says yellow. Here comes the letter Z. Z says zero. Z says zesty. Bye bye, kids.
Animals. A is for albatross. Albatross. B is for beaver. Beaver. C is for chimpanzee. Chimpanzee. D is for donkey. Donkey. E is for eagle. Eagle. F is for ferret. Ferret. G is for goldfish. Goldfish. H is for hamster. Hamster. I is for iguana. Iguana. J is for jaguar. Jaguar. K is for king cobra. King cobra. L is for lion. For lion. M is for matchy. Matchy. Minute. Minute. O. O is for ostrich. Ostrich. B. B is for parrot. For parrot. Q. Q is for quail. Quail. R. R is for rabbit. For rabbit. S. S is for snake. Snake. D. D is for tiger. Tiger. U. U is for urchin. Urchin. V. V is for vulture. Vulture. W. W is for walrus. For walrus. X. X is for cirrus. For cirrus. Y. Y is for yaw. For yaw. Z. Z is for zebra. Zebra.